I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I thought.
Well, I could see. Thank you so much for that. That meant a lot.
It's a pleasure. No, I mean, Clarkson. Sometimes he gets a bad rap with the Grand Tour not being overly serious. So the fact that it was extremely journalistic, it kind of still shows that he is incredibly intelligent. He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He knew what he was doing around those guys.
Yes,
he knew when Caleb was bollocking him to shut up and let it happen.
I thought Caleb was brilliant as well.
He's got his camera brain going,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Congratulations on the Grand Tour Lochdown. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Again, despite it being in the middle of a pandemic. Were you worried at all about the quality of the episode with it being in the middle of the lockdown?
No, we were chomping at the bit, and something played out that I hoped, was going to happen.
Right.
Which is, when you go to do Madagascars and Mekongs and Namibias and all that, you can let the magnificence of the surroundings, you can start to lean on it a bit for story.
Yeah.
And sometimes that works brilliantly. Mongolia, no problem. The Mekong, we got a very exciting ending with the South China Seas and all that. It always brilliant. Sometimes I think you lean on it too much, and I think we did that in Madagascar.
Right.
That Madagascar, we didn't quite do enough. Because we thought that road, which did give us an amazing amount of TV, kind of didn't give us the whole show.
Right. Okay.
It was lacking a little. Whereas this one, when we went, right, we know we're in Scotland, we know it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But we know effectively we're doing a smaller, less ambitious show. And then you just hope, because then you're going to lean into that fact. You're going to try harder. You're going to think about what you're going to do harder. You're going to compensate. So we did that, which is why it's packed full of stuff. And then something magical happened, which was, because it was all smaller scale, like the show we'd done 10 years ago.
Yeah.
The mood got like it did 10 years ago. The banter got like it did 10 years ago. The mischief got like it did 10 years ago. Yeah. The chat in the car, you could just, I've got reams of transcripts that nobody ever sees, but I could have put so much more on TV.
Yeah.
Conversations they had, which were just so funny, that because they were on form with, it's like the clock had gone back 10 years. We are driving across the UK. It's raining. We're in for a natter, Yeah. And so it got its own magic. Do you remember that MTV Unplugged series, or are you too young?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. I'm
that was
too young.
Massive bands. When MTV started, like you get Eric Clapton or Nirvana and everybody, were invited to do an unplugged set in MTV, which is basically coming to a studio and only play acoustically.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's what, to me, Scotland film was like. It was at MTV Unplugged.
Yeah.
Because everything got more stripped down.
Yeah.
But in the same way that a band playing their songs acoustically have to bring their A+ game, because you can't hide behind production.
Exactly,
I think that's what happened up there.
Yeah. Is there a chance we'd ever get to see any of these bits that never made it to TV at the moment?
Yeah, I'm not one for outtakes. I think there's a reason they fall on the floor.
Mm.
But there was we had a lot of, oh, fucking hell, we need to put that in. Oh, fucking hell, try that instead. There was a lot of stuff that, with regret, I never put, that we had to take out. It would have gone on forever. But that speaks to the quality of their banter,
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. If normally I say no, just throw it all away.
Right. Okay.
But it's a fair point. There's some really good, in a gentle spot somewhere on the internet, you could put it.
Yeah. You've got you've got YouTube and things like that.
That's the one.
I think there's room for it. This film was long. It was an hour and a half. Was this because there was just so much content?
Yeah, well,
the story needed it.
The contract, the arrangement with Amazon was that we were going to do 60 to 70 odd minutes.
Right.
because it was a mini special, you know, and the big ones are normally 90. So, and then, because we're a bit thick on these things, we went, right, okay, we're just driving around, so we better make sure it's full of stuff. So we kept piling things in. And the first cut I did, coupled with the fact that they were on form with that, the first cut was 2 hours and 10 minutes. And I think that's the second longest first cut of any special we've ever done.
Yeah.
I think only the Mekong was longer.
Right.
So it's 2 hours, 10 minutes, and you're like, holy shit, that's an hour over, you know?
Yeah.
So I threw away 3/4 of an hour of it.
Right.
Okay. But obviously that did make it better. There was some stuff that when you looked at, you think, no, that's actually just indulgent nonsense. That needs to go.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not serving you well. I mean, there was one bit where they left that, it was when they were in that farmyard, and they did a lot of smashing and bashing trying to leave the farmyard. And they were sort of doing it for cameras. And in the end, we threw that away and kept the bit where they just have a cup of tea and work out where to go next. And they laugh at Jeremy trying to fit the air filter. And that was what was going on. I threw away all the crashing and bashing.
Yeah.
And kept the bit where they just have a natter.
Yeah. Well, that's what fans love, isn't it? They love the natural chemistry. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I think you're right.
They always say you could take away the cast, just have them talk about anything and it would be entertaining. Just quickly, I know we've only got 3 minutes left.
No, keep going, Alex. You're the last one. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you. So Top Gear, the Grand Tour, it's always been very close to the line. And there have been a few jokes within this episode that were maybe some more sensitive people might start complaining about. Has there ever been anything that you've thought was too close to the line and that you've censored yourself?
I'm having a troll. Well, Mexico was wrong. We fucked up there.
Right.
We were arrogant. We ran away with ourselves. We liked the sound of our own voices too much that night when we recorded that. And it was just punching down in the wrong way. And we got giddy, I think is a word, you know, when you're like, hey, we can say anything. And that was the one I regret. That was the one I regret the most. The rest of it, the truth of the matter is we have a very strong compliance system and we're very good at it because you don't want the aggro later. And we've always been surrounded by, well, certainly at the BBC, Amazon are more conservative, but at the BBC, we've always been surrounded by great compliance people. Yeah. And the rule there is it's not getting complaints doesn't matter. It's being able to defend yourself when the complaints come. That's the point of creative content. And the BBC are brilliant at that. And they certainly were with us because we got in the papers more with Top Gear than we did with Grand Tour.
Oh, yeah.
So we hold ourselves to those things. But I think my point is, if you're talking about regret, very rarely do you get into that position because you got given so much intelligent freedom by the BBC compliance people that you actually were satisfied. So if Jeremy wants to go, lorry drivers murder prostitutes, and the BBC would go, gonna get complaints, but you can put it out. You know, the complaint is it's defensible, the comment. Then off you go and do it. And you can, well, I can't wish for any more. Because you don't want to tip over to the point where you're just antagonistic.
Yeah, sure.
You want to be, if people come at you for something you said, you want it to be charming. Yeah. The trouble you got yourself into, rather than nasty, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So what's Amazon like in regards to censorship?
They're not as good as the BBC.
Yeah.
And I think that's because the BBC have got a world of experience of broadcasting. They've been doing it forever. Amazon are younger on that front. There's also a West Coast element to it, which is its own thing. And I think younger broadcasters that come into the world, they have to find their feet with compliance. Yeah. They have to find out how it's done because you start off in the position of, oh shit, somebody's going to get annoyed by that. Somebody's going to, and you go, yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
that's fine. You just need to be able to justify it.
Yeah, of course.
I like to think we're a bit long. We're quite long in the tooth. We've been around the block with that. We've lived 2 decades of it, you know. So we're all right. Personally, we're all right. We can manage ourselves.
Sure. Okay, brilliant. Andy, thank you so much. Before I go, have you got anything to say to the fans before they see the episode?
I hope they enjoy that magical warmth. That it isn't so much the sequences or the action. I think we've got a really great action climax.
Yeah.
But I hope they enjoy that 10 years ago warmth that I think this one brewed up because we were in a lockdown scenario.
Yeah.
I hope that. I hope to, if people like it, I hope it's for that reason. They're on Twitter going, oh yeah, this is really charming. You know, those words.
Yeah.
A bit like The Farm, actually.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Perfect.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And yeah, congratulations again. I thought
Thanks,
it was
mate.
really, really good.
Very kind.
Cool.
All right.
Thank
Cheers, Alex.